Hi, I'm Chris McElmont, Master Resilience Trainer, Performance Expert, Contractor at the Fort Irwin R2 Performance Center, part of the Army Resilience Directorate. Welcome back to my second in a three-part video series on empathy. In the first video, I simply talked about what the definition of empathy is, which is putting yourself in someone else's shoes or seeing things from somebody else's perspective, trying to understand how they're feeling, where they're coming from, and doing so without judgment. Today I'm going to talk about the difference between empathy and sympathy, which often sometimes get confused. And just like I did in my first video, I'm going to get some assistance from award-winning author Brené Brown.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, you can climb down. I know what it's like down here. And you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no. You want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with "at least." And we do it all the time. Because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So, I had a miscarriage. Oh, at least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student.
My interpretation of Brené Brown's illustration on the difference between empathy and sympathy is empathy is a stronger connection. Two people can have, compassion and sadness for somebody. That's sympathy. The person that's empathetic will take it a step further. Be there for that person. They're okay to hear about the loss, the pain, whatever that person is experiencing. So they're able to be, a physical presence in that person's life, where the sympathetic person is kind of in distance. It's more cognitive. The personal example of that for me was last week. I saw somebody on social media, a woman, post a video. She was a nurse volunteering in New York City, and she had what she said was the worst shift of her career. Just a lot of dying, despair, felt helpless. She'd been crying for an hour on her hotel floor. She didn't feel like she had anybody to talk to. Her mom didn't want her to be there, so she didn't want to worry her mom, so she didn't call her mom. She had some friends, but they were nurses too, and didn't want to stress them out. So she just started talking into her phone, and that was cathartic for her. She was able to express her emotions. And then also, she wanted people to know how serious, this issue was. And so it touched me, moved me. I felt compassion, sad for what she was going through. She was alone. So I took my sympathy a step further, and I reached out to her on social media. I gave her my name, my background information, my phone number, and said, if you need somebody to talk to, I'd be more than happy to help you out, get you through this, and thank you for what you're doing, and sorry for what you're going through. Not a hero or anything. She didn't even respond back. I didn't expect that. But again, that's just kind of an example of, taking things a step further for somebody. I was willing to, if she called, I was willing to talk to her as long as she wanted, I appreciate what she's doing for our country, and especially volunteering. And I'm okay talking to her and feeling her pain and what it's like to go through, see somebody die, which never happened to me. But again, that's just an example of of taking sympathy a step further into empathy. And so I challenge you that this week to do that. So it's easy to be sympathetic. It's easy to say, I'm sorry, I feel bad, show compassion for somebody. But it's a skill and a challenge to be empathetic. It could be the difference between, you feel bad about all these people that are unemployed. So maybe you take it a step further with your empathy and cook for somebody that you know, or if you have some money, give to them, or just simply volunteer at a food pantry. That's taking it a step further, going from sympathetic to empathetic. Hope you got something from part 2 of my 3-part series on empathy. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you back here for the 3rd and final installment. In the meantime, if there's anything we can do for you, feel free to contact us, either here on Facebook or the phone number at the end of this video. I'm more than happy to help you in any way, virtually, on the phone, if it's possible to do one-on-one, depending on social distancing. Or if there's any video topics that we haven't covered that you'd like us to cover, please feel free to let us know. We want to help you in any way we can. We're here for you. We're thinking of you. We feel what you're going through. So stay positive, stay optimistic, stay safe, stay healthy, and be kind to each other. Until we speak again, take care.